Laurie, can you give us some general tips that parents should consider if they're trying to plan a getaway without their children?
First of all, make the decision to do it. That's the first thing. And also understand that you earned it, you deserve it. It's important for your couple. So get rid of all those notions that you shouldn't be doing this, you can't leave the kids behind. And it doesn't have to be a big 2-week trip. I understand parents don't want to leave their kids for that long, or who can't. So, but you can try to plan away an entire day, one overnight. Those are important. The things that make us feel better are when we plan ahead. So planning, for example, the meals, the schedule, it's all very stressful. And some of us say, you know what, it's too many things to think about, forget it. It's too much trouble. But we have to be able to say no. Yes, it is trouble, but in the end, it's worth it because we need to reconnect as couples. So planning babysitting or having your kids sleep at somebody's house, engage your network, your neighbors, your friends. Do trade-offs. You'll take my kids for one night, I'll take your kids another night. So we have to be able to co-op in that way. I think that's really, really important. Instead of thinking, I don't want to bother such and such, or you trade off babysitting services.
That's a great trip.
So
I think that's a great tip. I was just going to say, sometimes I think we defeat ourselves before we even start, right?
Exactly. That's exactly it. We don't even give ourselves the chance to do it. It's all possible. You just have to sit down, brainstorm all the possibilities that exist, and find a way. Granted, there are some people who have no network, who have no family, who find it difficult to do all of that. I understand that. But you can take hours at a time. There are drop-in centers for kids. You can drop your kids off. Daycare centers that offer some kind of respite care for a day, even if it's just a day to be a couple.
Now, such a big part of this question when parents are planning a getaway by themselves is the whole guilt factor. So what tips can you advise on that in terms of managing that guilt?
First of all, guilt serves a purpose. Real guilt, if you do something bad, your body, your psyche should go into guilt mode to let you know that you've done something wrong. The problem is that in our society, guilt takes on a huge, it gets exaggerated, and guilt, it just seeps into everything that we do when we haven't done anything wrong. So we think we've done something wrong, which is what we associate with that guilt feeling, but we have to get it through our minds that we're not doing anything wrong, that spending time as a couple is essential to maintaining the family bond. A good, healthy family starts with a good, healthy couple. Investing in the couple more than investing in the children. You have to invest in the couple first, and then it becomes easier, and not just easier, but you just feel more connected as a family when you feel solid as a couple. It doesn't help if you don't have any time with your partner and you get irritable and you're fighting and the children are in the middle and they get to witness that. They don't want to see that. It's not good for them to see that either. So they need to feel like mom and dad are going on dates and, aren't mom and dad, look how lovey, they're in love, and it just, they feel that. And that's important for kids to feel.
So we've talked about having a plan and a strategy in place before you leave. How about the plans and strategies that should be in place while you're gone?
I know that I've tried something that has worked really, really well. When I go away, and whether I go by myself to a conference or I go with my husband, I always plan a scavenger hunt for the kids, so that I make a phone call every day to the kids. But if you're just calling the kids just to say hi, usually you're going to get, I miss you, when are you going to come home? And it makes you feel even worse. So often parents are like, I can't even call home. But if you make it so that before you leave, you hide little gifts all over the house or wherever they're going to be, and you give them clues when you call them, that's the goal. The goal is to find out how they're doing, and then they're like, okay, I want my clue. What's my clue, Mom? What's my clue? And then they're looking for they go on this little scavenger hunt while they have you on the phone. So they look forward to your call at night, not because they necessarily want to talk to you, but they want what's the prize. And then it's so distracting to them that they don't miss you. They look forward to the nighttime, and then I've had the reaction, I was like, when are you going away again? I want to do my scavenger hunt, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So you make it fun for them as well. That's one tip anyway.
That's a great idea, because as you say, you could turn that entire sort of maybe emotional negative conversation around to something positive and fun. So that's a great idea.
That's right. Something really fun for them, you know. It's anticipatory. It gets them moving. It gets them thinking of, you know, and yes, it's related to something you buy, but they don't care. Dollar store things are just as good as anything else for them. It's the hunt that they love.
Now, another big piece of this question is, while you're on vacation, how do you avoid not fixating on talking about your children who aren't there?
Well, that's the hard part. The hard part is, you know, your life is centered around that. So you have to make a conscious effort to say, okay, let's talk about politics. Let's talk about, you know, something else. Let's pretend we're pre-children now, you know, and go back to the things we used to talk about. So sometimes you need to prepare. You need to prepare a list of topics you're actually going to talk about. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be so spontaneous. It can be things that, okay, we're going to talk about this, and that, because we have to be reminded that we are partners first. Before we became parents, we were a couple and romantic partners, so we need to remind ourselves of that part of it. And many of us kind of, once we become parents, everything goes into being that parent and doing the best job we can, but then we neglect our relationship, we neglect our partners, we lose our focus, and we need to kind of find that balance.
Dr. Laurie Betito, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, Leanne.